In 1862, deep in the tropical lowlands of southern Mexico, laborers clearing land stumbled upon something strange buried beneath the soil. It was not pottery, not tools, and not the ruins of a building. It was a face, a massive stone face carved from a single block of rock. The sculpture was enormous, larger than any statue known from ancient America at the time. Its expression was stern, almost watchful, with thick lips, a broad nose, and a heavy helmet covering the head. No one knew who had carved it. It did not resemble the art of the Aztecs. It looked older than the Maya. And the deeper archaeologists investigated, the more unsettling the discovery became. Because this head was only the first of many. Scattered across the jungles and river plains of Mexico's Gulf Coast were more colossal faces, each weighing as much as 20 tons, each carved with different features, each representing someone long forgotten. These sculptures belong to a civilization that had flourished nearly 3,000 years ago, long before the famous empires of Mesoamerica ever existed. Today, we call them the Olmecs. The Olmec civilization emerged around 1500 BCE along the swampy coastal plains of what is now the Mexican states of Veracruz and Tabasco. The environment was difficult and unpredictable. Rivers flooded constantly, thick jungle covered much of the land, and the humid climate made large settlements challenging. Yet somehow, within this landscape, a complex society began to take shape. The Olmecs were farmers who cultivated maize, beans, squash, and chili peppers. They built villages near rivers that served as natural transportation routes, allowing communities to trade and communicate across the region. Over time, these settlements grew into powerful ceremonial centers. The Olmecs did not simply adapt to the land, they reshaped it. One of the earliest and most impressive Olmec cities was San Lorenzo. Around 1200 BCE, San Lorenzo became the heart of Olmec power. Rather than constructing towering stone pyramids like later civilizations, the Olmecs transformed the landscape itself. Entire hilltops were flattened to create large ceremonial plazas. Massive earthen platforms were built to support temples and elite residences. Archaeologists have even discovered sophisticated drainage systems made from carefully carved stone channels. These channels directed rainwater through the city, preventing flooding and controlling the flow of water during storms. It was a remarkable feat of engineering for a civilization that possessed no metal tools and no written blueprints. But San Lorenzo is most famous for the colossal heads. These monuments remain among the most mysterious sculptures ever created in the ancient Americas. Each head was carved from basalt, a hard volcanic stone that originated in distant mountains roughly 60 to 70 kilometers away from the Olmec cities. Transporting these stones would have required tremendous effort. The Olmecs had no wheeled vehicles and no draft animals like horses or oxen. Yet somehow, they moved massive blocks weighing up to 20 tons across rivers, wetlands, and dense forest. Archaeologists believe they may have transported the stones on wooden sledges or rafts along river systems, but the exact methods remain uncertain. What makes the heads even more fascinating is their individuality. They are not identical statues repeating the same face. Each sculpture has unique features, different expressions, different helmets, subtle variations in facial structure. These details suggest that the heads represent real individuals, most likely powerful rulers. In Olmec society, leaders were not just political figures. They were likely seen as sacred intermediaries between the human world and the supernatural realm. The colossal heads may have served as monuments to these rulers, symbols of authority placed within ceremonial spaces where the power of the elite could be permanently displayed. Olmec art reveals a deep connection to mythology and religion. Many carvings depict figures that appear partly human and partly animal. One creature appears again and again in Olmec imagery: the jaguar. In the tropical forests of Mesoamerica, the jaguar was the most powerful predator in the environment. Silent, strong, and almost impossible to see before it struck. To the Olmecs, the jaguar may have represented supernatural power and transformation. Some sculptures depict human infants with jaguar-like features, including wide mouths and almond-shaped eyes. Others show adult figures seemingly transforming into jaguars. Scholars believe these images may represent myths about divine ancestry or spiritual transformation. In Olmec belief, rulers may have claimed a connection to powerful supernatural forces, reinforcing their authority through religion. Around 900 BCE, the center of Olmec power shifted from San Lorenzo to another ceremonial city known as La Venta. Located on a raised island of land surrounded by wetlands, La Venta became one of the most impressive religious centers in ancient Mesoamerica. At its center stood a massive pyramid built almost entirely from packed clay. Rising more than 30 meters above the surrounding plains, it dominated the horizon in every direction. Surrounding the pyramid were ceremonial plazas, temples, and carefully arranged monuments. Beneath the surface of the city, archaeologists uncovered extraordinary ritual offerings. These included large deposits of jade axes arranged in patterns and intricate mosaics made from colored stones. Many of these mosaics were immediately buried after they were constructed, suggesting they were offerings meant only for the gods rather than for human eyes. The Olmecs were not isolated from the rest of Mesoamerica. Through trade networks, their influence spread across vast distances. Jade objects, ceremonial carvings, and artistic styles connected the Olmec heartland to other cultures hundreds of kilometers away.
You've been watching Yesterday Explained. Like, comment, and share for more. Bye for now.